All right, everyone, welcome to Spirit Cafe Sessions with Nikki and
It's Kim now.
it's Kim. Now,
Still.
this is gonna this is gonna be an interesting session. We're just gonna let you both know we're both not wearing headphones, not even planned. We both got the same kind of research. We both like I don't know, it was really weird, but this is what I'm talking about alignment, and this is really exciting for me.
Yeah.
We are excited for this episode. You wanna let them know what it is?
Yeah. I hope you listened to our last episode where we had Amber, the animal communicator. And in there, she had made mention about coming with in like trying to find faith and your faith and not wanting dogma. And so to have faith without dogma. And that is actually something that I do myself had struggled with for a very long time. So that is what we're going to talk about today.
Faith without dogma. So
Hmm.
disclaimer, quickly, disclaimer, okay?
Yes.
Um, Kim and I are not going to poo-poo on any religions,
Mm-mm.
okay?
Never.
We there's never any judgment here, okay? It's strictly going to be the stuff that we've experienced, that we've had clients experience, that we've had family experience, and that's it, okay? But we honestly recommend everybody explore what's right for them, whether it's spirituality, whether it's Catholic, whether it's Protestant, whatever it is, whatever works for you. This is what this episode is about. But this episode is also going to be about not feeling so boxed in and
Yeah.
restricted.
Because
Okay.
that's huge, right? Too many
Oh,
people have that.
yeah.
They just
Yeah.
feel like, oh, I have to do this. And a lot of it's out of fear. But we'll talk about that today.
That's right. That's right. So that's the disclaimer. And I did pull a card already,
Nice.
which was the Fool, which I love. And I'll tell you why I love that for this episode. Because the Fool, yes, it's got a funny name. But the Fool is all about new beginnings and taking a leap of faith towards something without 100% knowing what you are heading towards. But knowing, having that inner knowing that everything is going to work out exactly how you want it or you need it to in that moment. And I absolutely love the Fool card when it comes to situations, even relationships. The second that I see the Fool card come up in a relationship, I get really excited for that person. I think it's a perfect card to come out as I was shuffling for this episode because deciding on a path, whether it's, being more spiritual, whether it's being more religious, that takes a leap of faith. Okay. And oftentimes, if you are really in tune with yourself and your consciousness, that leap of faith will lead you away from the flock.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And coincidentally, I got this beautiful mug from a very good friend for Christmas, and it says "Walk in Faith,"
Very cute. I love it.
and I'm drinking it today, and it actually has. Listen to this. I have turmeric chai latte.
That's right. She's got a tea. She's not just drinking her
Mm-hmm.
electrolytes today. So that's
No.
what tea she's drinking. I'm drinking. We're not going to talk about my tea. We're going to talk about Kim's tea today because she never drinks it on the podcast and she's drinking it today.
It's got black tea and it's got turmeric and chai, and it's like just very lovely. It's very, very lovely.
Oh,
So,
absolutely
but
love it.
perfect mug.
Absolutely
Walk
love it.
in faith.
That's right. Okay, guys.
Ooh.
So I actually wanted to start this off with a question
All
because
right.
this is a question that somebody asked that listens to our podcast. And it was one of the questions I
Okay.
said I was going to hold on for this episode if
Okay.
we ever did it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a listener and she does want to remain anonymous. That's fine. And she asked me, what does God mean to you and Kim? You go first.
Well, that's a very big question.
Yeah.
Um, However, to me, God means um like an infinite source of love and light and strength that will that basically watches over me, and I also have that inside of me. So I it's that this is something that's very hard, I think,
Hmm.
to box like
Yeah.
as well to box in, and we all have a very different um personal experience. So to me, God is an all loving, infinite source, um, pure love, true love, just faith and love, and you know,
Hope.
there's just something that the word love doesn't even capture. when I try to say it. So that's where I struggle. But
Mhm.
really, is what it is. I'm going in and out.
Another we're trying something new with Kim's technology, so just bear with us. I think it's cool, so we're leaving it. So,
What about you?
that's interesting. I've had people ask me that question all the time, and I think people ask me that question all the time. Disclaimer: I was raised Catholic. I've talked about it on this podcast. I went to church. I was baptized, communionized, all that, amazing stuff. It was just not the path for me. It never was. Not even when I was a kid. My mother will be the first one to tell you. I had to question everything,
Mm,
everything. It just wasn't for
you
me,
should
even
be
at a
like
young. Yeah.
that's
So
how all.
it's yeah, so it's just not for me. So, I get that question asked all the time because number one, I'm a tarot reader, right? So
Mhm.
big one, right? No, I'm not. I don't. Just because I read tarot does not make me, a witch or a practitioner in that sense. So I'm going to put that out there. It does not make you that if you read tarot. I have family members who read it that are Catholic. Just going to throw that out there, okay? And not that, all right? Um, God to me is infinite intelligence. Exactly what Kim says. And I think I surprise people with that question unless you know me because I am scientific. I'm just logical. I always will be. I've accepted that. I do believe in the God particle. I'm sorry, I do. If you've never heard of the God particle, my God, please, I implore you to look it up because our closest scientific evidence of what God is the God particle. Okay. Um, God, whether you believe it's an energy or, man, female, whatever you believe. I believe it's energy, right? Just like Kim, it's an infinite source, knows everything, and also was created not specifically to box you in. Okay. So the God, in a sense, that I believe in is a God that is gifted you a life that you can do whatever you want with and have whatever you want with, right? By learning, exploring, loving, that's a big one. Having faith, as Kim mentioned, right? I mean, there are infinite examples in the Bible, in the Torah, in religious works that all say, something like, and I've talked about this before, where it's the kingdom of God is within you, Jesus Christ is within you, whatever it is. The whole theory behind that is that, yeah, the kingdom of God is within you, as in God is within you. You are, in a sense, God. You are part of God. And with that, the wisdom and the life that you can create for yourself is unimaginable. But it's hard for people to grasp that fact
Oh,
because we're indoctrinated to be so boxed in.
well,
Right.
I think a lot of it too is the fact that there's so much fear
Yeah.
through certain things. And um, as a minister for a spiritualist church, so I'm a minister, my faith is spiritualism. Our It is guided by 7 principles, and they can be very a little different with each organization that you go to, but the 7 principles at the basis are exactly the same. At
Mhm.
our church, the very first, principle is, a divine source recognized as God, and that's how that's our principle. So that's how we do, our divine source and God. I'm coming in and out, whatever.
That's fine.
But yeah, so that's what it is. A divine source recognized as God. And it can be different, however you want to call it. And I've always, and that's the thing with spiritualism. I know this is about dogma and stuff, but it's freedom of an interpretation is acknowledged. Like, and so if something doesn't, like, the word God doesn't resonate with you, if
Hmm.
that gives you, like, the ick, or, like, it sends you into things that doesn't
Hmm.
send you into a beautiful, feeling of light and hope and, that just true love feeling, whatever you want, the people infinite source, um, they a creator, whatever you want, whatever you could call it, whatever you want, as long
Right.
as you know what it is. God is really just a name that was made,
It's a title.
by man. Yeah, just to kind of pigeonhole it. But it's not a pigeonhole type, um, concept. So
No, it's true. It's so true.
yeah, it's just, and I do find a lot of people, stray away from any of this kind of stuff just because they don't, resonate with the word God. So think, oh, religion, church, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, that's not like they've they've had it so put into them. And so like we are going to talk about how deeply important it is for your spiritual growth, today. So
Oh.
we're to have faith
Hmm.
without dogma. So I hope that this is something that is going to be um helpful for you to
Hmm.
start your journey if you haven't. Um, and so, like, for many of us, the word faith is like baggage, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what, you know, um, you got songs that talk about faith. You got, people are always, oh, just have faith. And you're like,
Right.
okay, shut up. You don't know. Like, you don't, just be patient, just have faith. Like, I don't know what else. Those are kind of sometimes can be very hard things
Yes.
to accept when someone says it to you.
Yeah.
Um, and it's tied to the rigid rules, right? The fear-based concepts. If you don't do this, you're gonna, go to this place or whatever. Just like the fear that's put in. And again, it's not against any religion, but the fear is really what holds many people back, right?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Whether they can they can say they don't believe in it, but a lot of times it's because they fear and think it's, like, are too scared to even delve it like into it, right?
No, you're right. I 100% do I agree with that. I definitely, definitely agree with that. Faith is a felt experience or something. I've read that once before on something. Faith is a felt experience, and I don't think a lot of people understand what that means once it's said. Like Kim said, people hear God, people hear church, people hear whatever you hear, and there is the preconceived notions, and it does give people heebie-jeebies, especially these days, right?
Oh yeah,
Because there's a preconceived notion of what God, in a sense, is. The reason why I like the quote, that faith is a felt experience, is because essentially it's wherever you are, whenever you are. It's Faith is a felt experience, takes you out of that box and takes you out of the rigid belief system and takes you away from those rules. And really, that's what life should be about, right? That's what.
absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
No, unfortunately, we weren't handed an instruction book when we came out. However we were delivered into this world,
Right.
we weren't handed an instruction book, but a lot of the instructions are inside us
Yeah.
and
Oh
aren't
yeah.
meant
We know.
to be told
No.
to us by others. So, and that's why I really felt drawn to spiritualism, because spiritualism, um, it's very flexible, it's deeply personal, and faith is very much alive. And faith is not about like a blind obedience, right? In spiritualism, it's not about a blind obedience,
Yeah.
and it's about it's not about like memorizing doctrines and verses and suppressing questions. It is about experience, just like Nikki said.
Yeah.
And we believe spirit is not confined to a book, a building or hierarchy. So I am a minister at a church. We have a building. But do I believe that's the only place that I can, um, you know, feel that I'm one with God, or feel that I can do my practice, feel that I can live into my faith? Absolutely not.
Right.
Right now, I am in my house, in my basement, in my little office, right? And
Yeah.
Nikki's at her house, and
Yeah.
we are, we can feel it. Feel it in your car, right? You don't need to have a certain place. You don't need to have a label. um, it's, spirit speaks through your intuition, synchronicities,
Yeah.
mediumship, love, grief, healing, personal truth. You
Yes.
know,
Big one.
that's where it goes through. Um, and because each of these things that you experience, your spirit experiences are unique, you know, we're all a little different. So
Yeah.
that gives us all a little different in our spiritual paths, right?
Mhm.
So Dogma says This is the truth. Do not question it. But faith without dogma says, this is my truth, discovered through experience, and I honor yours too.
I love that.
So, absolutely, never ever should you put um, somebody down or make somebody feel that their faith, that their beliefs are incorrect or not right, because you don't know what they've lived through. You don't know what experiences got them to that. So you just need to be open and honor that their experiences, their faith is them,
Yeah.
not, and let them, just like they're going to do for you, because they might think you're a crackpot. Not a big deal. Like, this is your faith. This is what you feel. When you are centered in your faith, and knowing, and you have built it up inside of you, opposed to being told what needs to be there, like, that is so
Mm-hmm.
strong that won't bother you when someone criticizes your
Oh,
faith, because
100%.
it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
because it's yours.
Yeah.
um it says one of the most powerful acts of faith is letting go of the rigid belief system that no longer serve us. Many of us were taught what to believe before we learned even how to listen to ourselves. With a spiritual awakening, it often begins when we give ourselves permission to ask, does this resonate with me? That's huge. That is so
Yeah.
huge. Like,
Yeah.
I think growing up, I went to different religions, different, like, I went Lutheran, and I went with people Catholic. I even went to, like, Mormon church. I have family with
Mm-hmm.
Mormon church. Had friends who were like Jehovah
Right.
Witnesses. And I went to all that stuff, and nothing really just was there.
Yeah.
My grandma would even take me to German church, and they just spoke German all the time. Well, that definitely did, you know. But I felt the love. I felt the faith, the connection.
Yeah.
Um, so then it says, does this belief expand my heart or does it contract it? Like, that's very big too, right? Like,
Mhm.
when you're going through a spiritual awakening, it's crazy.
Oh,
Like, your
oh,
head is going in so many
oh,
directions,
yeah.
you
Yeah,
know?
you know what's
Um,
interesting? You said spiritual awakening is most people. I read it was very interesting. Again, I'm gonna dork out and say I did read a study, whatever. It was a study, and it was I don't care. I love it. And they
no,
were
that's
saying,
fine.
they contacted people who thought that they were going through a spiritual awakening, dark souls at night. And so I'm gonna link it to you, Kim, if I
Mhm.
find it. And they said that most people they did not realize that what they were going through was a spiritual awakening and they
No,
felt
because you
such
think you're going
guilt.
crazy.
Yeah, and they felt such guilt questioning, if they were raised Catholic, all of a sudden at 33, they don't believe they don't know why they can't, connect to being Catholic. Like they felt
Mhm,
crazy. They thought it was like they were going through a grief. It was grief. That's what
mhm.
spiritual
Yep.
awakening is you are actually grieving parts of you that no longer resonate with where you're going forward. Like it's very interesting. It's the grief of losing like faith in a sense, right?
Mhm. Well, it's not only the grief, but the fear,
Yeah.
because, oh my gosh, this is what I've been told my entire life, but I don't resonate with it. Like, what is wrong with me? What is happening?
Scary.
And you'll just
Yeah.
like, I used to say when I was going through my last one, because you don't just get one. Um,
No.
the
Jeez.
last one, I would just sit there and go like, oh my God, I'm having an existential crisis. Like, I don't even know. Like, who am I? I don't
Mhm.
know. Um, and then the other question you can say is, does it bring me closer to love or closer to fear?
Yeah, that's a big one.
You know, and that's what I did. And I would say stuff like, even I would even comment to people, well, I'm a weirdo. That was kind of my way of just letting know I don't really think like you do,
Mhm, mhm,
or what I assume that you think, right?
mhm.
Um, so in spiritualism, we also trust that spirit meets us where we are, right? It
Yes.
doesn't come to you all at once. Um, and we don't have to get it right. Right? We don't have to, everything doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to take classes to absolutely do things to be perfect. Um
Yes. Mhm.
and so we don't have to believe perfectly. So uh, I can have beliefs, Nikki can have beliefs. They can be the same but very different.
Yep.
They could be the same concept, but from our experiences, what we learned, how we feel, they can be different, and that's
Yep.
okay. So there is no perfect way.
Mhm.
Um, and we just have to remain open
Yes.
to what we get and believing and with that love. So faith without dogma allows for curiosity instead of certainty. And we have to encourage that. We don't encourage
Yes.
that for our
Yes.
children. Um, like once you've grown up here, like you all you want is pretty much certainty
Yep.
because that's all
Mhm.
you've been trained you need to have. Um, it allows for compassion instead of judgment. That is something
I
that is
love that.
so
Important.
missing.
Oh,
Like now
100%.
there's too many people,
100%.
right? Like, and you,
Mhm.
you go onto any social media, you walk on any street, anything, there's people are just judging each other and not
Yeah.
having compassion.
Yeah.
Um, and I've said this to my children, you know, you need to realize that other people have gone through stuff as well,
Yes.
just like you. So like, you need to hold your heart open for them and not be angry. Maybe they had different experiences in their lives that you didn't and you don't understand, right? Um,
Yeah.
and so that's what guides us, right? So you don't have to. Oh, people can just be so mean. We can have the same idea and have very different words for it, but that's for us. Um, and it's also for growth instead of stagnation.
No,
Because I
it's
do see
true.
that too. When you see with people who have the different religions where they get very set in how it has to be, it's like you
Yep.
get to a place and then there's nowhere else. Um, Spiritualism or like having no dogma kind of attached to something, it's wide open and
Yeah.
it keeps getting
Learning.
better. Like I don't know about
Yep.
you, Nikki, but it gets better every day.
Yep.
Um, I'm not saying life is perfect, because that's not at all the case, but every day there's something that is kind of brought to your attention, or you can get a feeling or something that makes you just a little bit more settled in your situation, wherever you are,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
I
And
like that. Yeah.
just knowing you're not alone, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
I like that.
and so that's where like mediumship also, it's we're bringing in your loved ones, and that's not rigid either, you know? Like
Oh.
you don't have to have everything exactly the same. Not
Yep.
everybody who's coming through is exactly the same, right?
That's right.
Um
Yeah.
so if you've ever today, if you've ever felt like you're disconnected from faith because there's rules or because there's shame or fear, know this. All right. You are allowed to build a relationship with spirit that feels safe, loving, and authentic to you.
I like that.
Okay. And faith without dogma is not weaker, it's actually stronger because you're actually active in that. You're not being told what you need to do. And what would you say to someone who wants spirit but is afraid of being wrong?
Oh, I love that question because that's what majority
You
of
know,
people when they
think of
start I was gonna say the majority of people when they start,
mhm,
opening their minds up and they start learning and they start just tiptoeing and seeing what is out there, that's the one thing that pops in their head. That what if I'm wrong?
yeah.
What if I'm going the wrong way? What if I'm going to, hell? What if I'm going to constantly, constantly.
hmm Throws you back in fear.
Yep.
And that's what
Yeah.
we need to get rid of is that fear. Um, and there's compassion and inclusivity. Um, how does faith without dogma create more compassion for others? Um, have you noticed how releasing judgment deepens your connection to spirit?
Mhm. I mean, I have. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah, like uh, if you're not judging somebody, you are. You're connecting to them.
Yeah. So you're
You
open.
know,
You're open. Yeah.
and with your evolving beliefs, how do you honor past beliefs while still allowing yourself to change?
Oh, I mean,
And
for
what
me, it's
belief
easy.
are
I
you
still do it.
currently questioning? Yeah,
Like, I'll
you
still
still
do
do
it.
it
Like,
all?
yeah, no, there's certain beliefs that, from the Catholic faith that I definitely, have brought forward in my spiritual beliefs. We'll give you an example. You know what? I use holy
Mhm.
water. I use holy water. I love what holy water stands for. It brings me comfort. It makes me maybe fine, maybe psychologically it makes me think that it's this strong thing, right? But I use holy water. That's something I brought along with me, even though I don't call myself Catholic. I use it because I love what it represents. I love it, and I love. I will, if I go to church, or if at Christmas Eve dinner, I shared that we have the opłatek, which is the bread of Christ. I will take that because I like what it means. I like what it represents, and not in a weird, creepy way, like somebody, oh my God, you're eating, Jesus or whatever it is. That's not in my brain
But
what
see,
that
now you're putting
represents.
judgment on yourself.
Exactly, right? But like that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
but
Like
that's
I
why you
I
gotta
know.
release that judgment on yourself, right?
Right, right. So like I don't care. I still have that, even though I don't go to church every Sunday. I go to church. I mean, I don't go to church every year, I'll be honest. But do I like churches? Absolutely. Why? Because I'll be honest, the architecture. I think they're gorgeous. I think they're beautiful. I like
Mhm, mhm.
the artwork. I don't feel bad about that. I mean, people will say something about that, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
there are things from my Catholic faith that I brought forward because they still resonate with me. After, 20 years, they still resonate. So I'm going to, until they don't resonate, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it.
No. No, no, not at all. Um, and when you are going on your own, like your own faith, um, it's rooted in your truth, right?
Yeah.
It's not truth that's been imposed on you. It's not,
Yeah.
this is what the truth is. None of that. It's this is what my truth is,
That's
and
right.
that authenticity. Um,
Hmm.
and when we let go of those rigid beliefs, we make room for something beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, um, it gives you a faith that breathes. It gives you a spirituality that heals.
Hmm.
Um, and you have just that deep trust that spirit is with you. Um, and it's like when I do like a meditation, like a grounding meditation, and you're filled with light. It is, I am surrounded by the light. I'm filled by the light. I am the light.
I like that.
You know, you are like it's
Mhm.
Christ consciousness, right? Like
Mhm. Oh yeah.
you are that.
Hmm.
So, I did have a question that I wanted to say though, just so people could think.
Oh yeah.
Um, did I put it? Do 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 do. Oh, oh, here we go. So this is I want um for those listening. If someone feels spiritually lost right now, what permission would you give them?
I like that. I like
And
that a lot.
what does spirit want people to remember of faith and freedom?
I really like
So
those questions.
if you knew that someone was, struggling with their faith, like what would you say to them?
Mhm.
You know, would you say, "Oh, well, you got to learn this and this and this, and oh here,
Mm.
and then you got to take this class, and then you got to take
Yeah.
this, and then I can't remember all the names. Like there's things like baptized, and then was it communion,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah,
different
yeah,
religions have all these different things that you need to
yeah,
get to,
yeah.
right? So, what permission would you give someone? I think I would just give them the permission to love openly
Mhm.
without um any like any judgment, and
Yeah.
allow you to feel that love back
Yeah.
and
I've
just
had
walk
people
in that love.
I've had people, clients who come to me and ask for readings because they're in that situation where they don't feel connected to a source.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
and oftentimes, so I've had that question come up maybe 3 or 4 times, I should say, since I went public with my tarot readings. Over the last year, 3 or 4 times somebody have asked me a
Mhm.
question similar to that, or has been in that stance. And what permission I would give, exactly what I told these clients. Tell me. Tell me about it. Just tell me. Because if you can sit in front of somebody with, like Kim says, that where there's no judgment, right? And that person will listen, not just to hear, but to actually listen. Oftentimes, that's all you need. You just need somebody to look at you and you just need to vomit it out in a sense. And that's why when that question, I would tell them, great, tell me what's going on. Just talk. You talk. I'm not going to say anything. You talk at me and tell me what's going on. That's it. Because I'll give you, that's it. I will
Yeah.
listen and you will talk. And that sometimes that helps get the ball rolling into a direction, right? So, like Kim says, you need to sit in front of somebody, I feel, that's non judgmental and that has compassion, which, as
Yeah.
Kim says, is very difficult to find these days. People think they're compassionate, people think they have
Mhm.
empathy. I don't think a majority of people know the true definitions of both, I'll be honest. Um, so
Yeah.
if you can sit in front of someone like that, you're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's basic for me, the long like, it's about trusting love to lead you.
Yep.
And when I'm talking about love, I'm talking about that true love, like that, just that love that has no expectations and has no resentments, no fear, no, it's not scared. It just truly loves. Doesn't matter what, you know, I guess a lot of people I think have difficulty finding true love because everybody is so, by the time they get to, especially like my age, you don't even know what some of this stuff is or what to believe anymore. And but when they get to, you know, with that true love, they can just, it's like your, how you love your pet, right? Or
Yeah.
like your dog. It doesn't matter what they say, doesn't matter if they bark or whatever, like you'd be like, "Hey," and you could be mad. But then, it's just a kid letting a dog in. But you could be upset. Okay, he peed on the floor. But you don't
Mm.
suddenly don't want to ever talk to your dog again,
Of course not. Yeah.
right? Like you
Mhm.
still have that love. So people just need to lead with that and know that that is what spirit is. That is what
Yeah.
God is. It's just that
Yes.
love. So I have a meditation
Yay.
that I would like to do.
Yeah.
Um, so if we can do that.
Please.
So this is a guided meditation. So I'll be talking and I'll be kind of giving some prompts. But this is for faith without dogma. Okay. So I just want you to take a moment and settle your body. And if it feels comfortable, gently close your eyes. If not, just simply unfocus your gaze or soften your gaze. Okay. Because I know some people don't like to have their eyes closed. Um, Now, bring your attention to your breath. All right. Not to change it. I just want you to notice your breath. And inhale and exhale. Allow each breath to invite you more fully into this moment. With every exhale, imagine releasing expectations. Breathe in, breathe out. And with that breath out, you're releasing rules. You're releasing the need to have everything figured out. Now, bring your awareness to your heart space and place a hand there if it feels right. Now, feel the steady rhythm of your being. And now, silently or out loud, I want you to repeat, I am allowed to trust my own experience of spirit. Now, imagine a soft, warm light beginning to glow within your chest. And this light represents your personal connection to spirit. Not borrowed, not taught, not imposed, but lived, felt, and known. As this light expands, notice if there are any old beliefs ready to loosen. Any ideas that once protected you but no longer serve you. There is no force here, only permission. If a belief comes to mind, gently say, "Thank you for what you have taught me. I release you with love." Now, imagine spirit not as something distant or external, but as presence, as compassion, as intelligence moving through your breath. Allow spirit to meet you exactly where you are. No tests, no conditions, only connection. Now I want you to rest here for a few breaths in openness, in curiosity, in trust. Now silently affirm, and you can repeat after me, or you can just say it in your head. My faith is allowed to grow. My truth is allowed to evolve. Love is my compass. Now, when you're ready, begin to bring your awareness back to your body. You can feel your feet, your hands, the surface supporting you. Take one final nourishing breath in and release it slowly. And as you return, carrying this knowing with you, faith does not need to be rigid to be real. Spirit walks with you in freedom always. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes.
That was great.
So that's just something you can do. You've heard me talk about, or maybe you've had a reading with me, and I've talked about if there's something in you, like there's words people have said to you, that have hurt you, because people have things that have hurt. And there could be stuff that is deep, deep from years and years and years ago. When you're doing this, have that as one of the things, and just take it out and just like, you're gone. Thank you. I release you with love. Thank you for teaching me this. Thank you for
Mhm.
allowing me to be able to deal with this. I let you go with love.
Yeah.
And I found that to be incredibly helpful with a lot of my healing. Just, you have, I'm sure everybody, because I sure did, just people just say things that not even thinking, and they don't
Mm.
realize the capacity of how that can just
Yeah.
like wig into your brain and can stay there. It'll camp in there. It'll like
Yes.
buy itself a plot. So you need to release those things because
Yes.
your s- um, your faith is yours and yours alone.
Yeah. I love
And
that.
no one should make you feel that anything about your faith is wrong. And if they do, you just release that with love because their words, that's their words.
Mhm.
That's them needing to learn compassion. So just
Yes.
release it and go, because you're not, that's not you.
Yeah. I love that.
And it's not easy. It's
No,
not
it's
easy
not.
to do this. Um,
I like
I
that you
still
said,
struggle. I'm sure Nikki still struggles.
oh God, yeah. I did like that you said, somebody will say something and it'll burrow, it'll put a plot in your mind. Um, it will. That's going to be unavoidable. That is why self concept, not just about yourself, but in your belief systems, is so important, because the more that you, like Kim says, know the truth that resonates within you, whatever truth that is, when someone does give their 2 cents about your practices, or your spiritual beliefs or whatever, when they say those silly things to you, your nervous system will be so calm, and you'll remain unaffected. You will. Okay. And those thoughts won't get, as Kim said, burrowed in your mind. There won't be a plot there. You'll be able to hear it, think it once, and then counter it with all your true beliefs, right? It's interesting. You can look at it as a scale, the scale philosophy, right? One negative thought, one negative thing, and then you can counter it with several positive things that mean something to you. That becomes stronger as time goes on, and the more like grounded you are in your beliefs, right? So I think that's very important. Um, if you get affected by something that someone says that's silly, and you do find yourself questioning and spiraling a little bit, it's normal. Okay. Don't beat yourself up over it. Okay. Just really try to remind yourself that you know the truth. This is your belief. This is your version of God. This is your version of heaven, angels, whatever you think. That's theirs. This is yours. And just keep repeating it, because it will eventually, you will be stronger in it. You will. Takes time, but it'll happen.
Yeah, it,
Right.
it, it can. And just, you know, people say things. A lot of times most of the time it's a reflection of them. So,
Yes.
um, just know, because it'll help you. Whether you were talking about things that you hear in the world from other people, from different religions, or politicians, or commercials, or whatever. Like, there's just so much that we are just constantly, like, is thrown at us to question.
Mm-hmm.
So to know your own truth, to be able to be authentic and move on, you will be able to discern and live your life the way is in for you, is authentic and real for you. So you don't need
Yeah.
to, just because the Joneses are doing this, that, and the other thing, doesn't make them better people,
That's right.
and doesn't make you lacking
That's
from
right.
what they
That's
have.
right.
And just have that belief in yourself and in your faith, because it's beautiful when you can get there. It's hard. It's
Yes.
not easy.
God, no. No. And I do want to bring up one thing that Kim said earlier, about spiritual awakenings. It's not a one and done deal. We wish,
Ugh,
but on this journey, which is
no,
phenomenal, and Kim and I wouldn't train it. We wouldn't trade it for the life of us. We would never trade this. Okay.
no.
But you will have more than one spiritual awakening. You will have more than one dark soul of the night. Right. Um, and if you do, you definitely take that as a good sign that you are evolving, that you are getting stronger, that you're living more in alignment and in truth. And I know that at that moment in time when you're going through the spiritual awakenings or dark soul of the night, it might not seem that way. But honestly, Kim and I will tell you that's what's happening. Just not at the moment in time does it feel good, right?
But yeah, oh, there, you won't know probably that you're going through it until
Mhm.
you're almost through it,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And the
Absolutely.
main goal of it is to void you of ego, destroy that ego, because your ego, yes, it's there to protect you, but it's to protect you from way back when you were like a caveman running through, and there was things attacking you, and like you needed to get supper, but you didn't know, like, like
Yeah.
intuition, those kind of things. That's what your ego's there for. It's not there to push out people who are to love, who really truly want to love you. It's not there to ruin you. It's not there to hurt you. Um, so you just got to let it go, because
Hmm.
your ego, yeah, it keeps you safe somewhat, but
Keeps you
it
stuck.
can also, yeah, stuck and afraid.
Yeah,
I don't want to be too heavy on people.
I
Um,
know. It can be a
but
heavy topic. That's the
mhm,
you know. But I don't think that this was that heavy of an episode. I don't see it as it was as heavy as an episode. Um, I think we kept it pretty light. I like that we did the meditation. When I say we, I mean you. But I no,
but
I
still, yeah.
I think that it's informative episode because you and I come across this question from people all the time, all the time. So it's definitely something that we should have brought up and should have done an episode about. And maybe we'll do another episode about this in the future if people have more questions. Um, but I think it was mostly important for people to know that if you're experiencing these spiritual awakenings, if you're questioning your faith, it is perfectly normal. There's nothing wrong with it. Keep going and find what makes you feel loved. That's it. That's all it is. Find what makes you feel connected and loved, no matter what that is, right? That's the most
Absolutely.
important thing when it comes to faith. That's it.
Also, I want everyone to kind of realize too that if you find that you are feeling kind of drawn to, like, okay, I hear, like, I feel like I'm getting thoughts in my head that aren't mine, and or you're drawn to tarot, or like any type of these modalities, Reiki, spiritual healing, any of that stuff. Please, um, look into it. Don't just go, "This is bad. I can't do this, because if I do it, I'm going to HE double hockey sticks," because,
Yeah.
that's what's gonna stop you from doing that, because, again, you have that intuition. It's like it's innate, like, it's there. So
Hmm.
you need to learn to work with it, and as you work with it, it is going to help you be able to realize what is your truth, instead of telling it,
Yes.
to be quiet. Um, and you just really
Yes.
need to get over needing to be right all the time.
Yeah.
Because if you're right all the time, you're probably not supposed to be here. So you
Yeah.
should be
Yeah.
off
Yeah.
and working on maybe being somebody else's guide. I don't know.
Yeah.
So no, it's
No, it's true though.
you know, you don't need to be right. Um, and you just need to let go of all that. Right.
Yeah.
And that, again, you
Absolutely.
need to let go of. So um that's, I guess,
That's the
that's it, I guess.
episode.
I don't know. I don't know what what else
That's
there
yeah.
is. But I would like people to ask us questions, if they have
Mhm.
questions, like, what is holding you back? Why are you
Yeah.
maybe worried? What are things that maybe you can't let go of? What are things
Right.
that you want to let go of, but you don't know how? We're here. Um,
Yes.
Again, I don't, I don't know everything. Absolutely not even close. Um, I am a minister, and but that's just because that's something that I have just basically followed
Hmm.
spirits push into, like, never in a million
Yeah.
years. So this was my evolution of my faith, right?
Yeah.
And because I always knew that these other things didn't quite resonate with me as
Yeah.
something that felt good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No,
I really,
absolutely. Absolutely.
don't let someone tell you because you're looking at doing tarot that you're a bad person, or, oh, you're a
Yeah.
witch. Well, you know what? I know witches, and a lot of witches, and they're
Yeah.
very nice people. Like, there's just the same as us. So you just need to kind of let go of those judgments and
Yes.
realize, and just follow that, and you will be so much happier.
Absolutely. No, absolutely, and I 100% agree with you, and I hope you guys, if you have questions, especially about this episode, or you're confused, or you want some advice or some guidance, or um, you don't have to post on the comments if it's making you nervous, but you can definitely DM us because our social medias are all on there. You could email us. We'll definitely try to help you out as best as we can because, like Kim says, we don't know everything. We don't. We don't.
No.
We learn every day like you guys. We connect every day like you guys, but we are definitely able to, I don't know, try to point you in the right direction, try to give you some advice, or even just listen if you just
Mm.
need us to listen. That's it,
Yeah. If
right?
you need listen without judgment, you can reach out to us because that's what we're
Oh,
here for.
absolutely.
Um, my mediumship is in my heart 100% healing. Like I just want everyone to heal. Um,
Yeah.
and you know, there's lots of mediums out there. So I'm not the only one you can come to. Like there are so many out there. So whoever resonates with you, whoever you feel connected to,
Hmm.
you will be drawn to them. Somehow you will be connected to them. And
Yes.
yes, I like, and I do find this as a as a little bit, for me, it's confusing because I know who I am, but I have had, people tell me, like, they're nervous because I am a
Mhm.
medium or because I'm, "Oh, am I listening to you?" or whatever, or, "Am I reading your thoughts? Are your people around?" No,
Right.
like, I'm not.
Right.
I'm not there. But also just because I'm, a minister, that just means that I've gone and I've done some work and research and, did some practices of things that allowed me to be ordained.
Yeah.
Doesn't make me a better person. I'm not better than you. I'm not more advanced than you. It's just what I've done. And so um don't feel like, you can't talk to us because, oh, we're gonna, judge you or whatever, because absolutely not. We're humans.
No.
And if you know me well enough, you know that I am not somebody to be like,
Yes.
I've got it. I got it all going on. Like I could be a hot mess a lot of times. So I just go with my faith.
Yes.
So thank you so much for joining us and really appreciate you
Yes.
giving us your time. This is what our second episode of this year. So what are we at? Episode
That's
21?
right.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that's like almost 21 hours of us that you can listen to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us again. We really appreciate it. And like Kim says, you know what? Reach out to us if you do have questions or you do need something. Absolutely. Like, share, all that kind of stuff. We appreciate you guys so much. We're so excited for this year. We have a great lineup for you. We're going to be trying some new things as well. I'm super, super excited.
Yes, and me as well. And again, thank you so much. If you want a reading, whatever reading, you can reach out to us also on the socials and we can absolutely set you up. So, and we're not going to again, we won't reach out to you because I think we didn't
No,
haven't mentioned that enough. So, at no time will we reach out to you and say, "Hey, look, I think you have a love problem and, you know, I'll give you a reading." That's not us. That's not what we do. So,
absolutely.
reach out to So, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Have a
Thank you
lovely
guys. And
day, afternoon, morning, whatever you got going on after today,
that's
after
right.
you're done listening.
Have a fantastic week. Fantastic week, guys. And we will see you next week with a brand new episode.
Thank you for
Bye.
starting your 2026 with us. Bye.
Yes. Bye.